What is up, guys? Vince Plays here, and I'm so happy to be back and making videos and doing live streams again because it has been a minute. Because not this last Tuesday, but the last Tuesday before this one, I had a gallbladder surgery, and my gallbladder had to be yeeted from my body. And what I wanted to do was share my experience with Punishing Gray Raven, or PGR for short. The homie Xera, one of my current viewers that joined me through the woo-wah space, introduced me to Punishing Gray Raven, and I learned that Punishing Gray Raven is doing a Devil May Cry 5 collab. I learned that in the past. And so this game is quite freaking impressive for what it is, man, dude. So I just wanted to break down my feelings about the game and share the things that will keep me around even when the Devil May Cry collab is over. Punishing Gray Raven players feel like many players that's currently getting into this game is only there for the Devil May Cry 5 collab, and they will eventually quit when the collab is over. Fortunately, I would continue to play it due to the fact that the game has a lot of content and more to offer, especially since I really have been getting into gacha gaming over the past, 10 years or so. If it really was 10 years, I can't recall, but ever since the emergence of Genshin Impact. So let's go ahead and start by talking about different parts of the game. So we'll start with the story, and don't kill me for what I'm about to say. Just hear me out, because I am not a fan of graphic novel stories. And I wish there was VA work that went along with it. However, I still enjoy the story for what it is due to the dark and more serious nature of the story itself. And now, to be fair, I did notice that the more recent content for the game improved a great deal. So I'm really excited to get farther into the story to experience the improvements that they have made with their visual novel style, because the newer content looks freaking nice. I also appreciate how the story doesn't drag on so much that it takes forever to progress through the story. And I was told the whole hidden story concept was scrapped from the game after you reach a certain point in the story, and I thought that was great, because I'm not gonna lie, some of the hidden story battles were kind of bad, especially in the earlier parts of the game. It just felt very off to me, especially with the animations of some of the characters that you've used, because when you actually play the actual characters that you pull, they feel great. But like when I was playing the hidden story battles, some of the characters, like Tifa for instance, felt very stiff when compared to the actual characters that you pull for. But despite my gripes, I still find the story interesting, especially when I got around chapter 8, because some of the characters began to grow on me, especially the dynamic between Lee and Kamui. I thought they was like an odd couple pair, which was just great. I enjoyed that immensely. So let's go ahead and talk about the meat and potatoes, and it has to be the gameplay, because what good is enjoying a game if you don't enjoy the gameplay? Of course, the visuals and the aesthetics is wonderful, but the gameplay has to step up to the plate as well. And I would say the gameplay is fast and flashy. I play a ton of Wuthering Waves, and I can admit that PGR is way faster and flashier than Wuthering Waves. I enjoy what they did with the characters in PGR. Kuro Games did a nice job. Every character plays totally different from one another, and they play so different that it kind of feels like a fighting game, due to the need to really take your time and figure each character's functions out. Because You have to in order to progress in the game and work well when putting your team together, because you can't just go in not knowing how the characters work, because you're going to fall flat on your face. I am new, so I'm still trying to make sense of everything, because when it begins to click, the more you use the character, they begin to feel great. They use a bit of an RNG based Candy Crush like mechanic that involves matching colors of 3 orbs to trigger stronger attacks and abilities. Now, some of the characters have a mechanic that doesn't rely on the traditional style of the game, which was an interesting choice. And I feel like those characters may have been designed that way to make the game easier for beginners to play, and I can actually vibe with that. To me, the combination of searching for the right orb combinations while fighting fast-paced battles can be a bit overwhelming at times, especially when you're new. So many questions you gotta ask yourself. How many orbs of what color do you have? Can you activate the matrix? In other words, the perfect dodge, which is a slowdown that you would get when you time it perfectly. What are the enemies doing? How many of the enemies are on the screen? How much of your character's gauge is filled? Because every character seems to have their own unique mechanic, and you have to pay attention to specific things. How many dodges do you have left? Because you can run out of dodges, and if you run out of dodges at the worst moment and you're not aware of that, you're gonna get clapped big time, and etc, etc. And because of all these different things, it's very challenging. So much so the play the win logic doesn't necessarily guarantee victory. I mean, you can definitely pay to win, no doubt about it, but it's only going to get you so far, because there is more skill involved in this game. Now, the game is quite challenging, but I feel like the more you play it, the more you get used to certain things. It may take more time than others, but eventually in time, some things will eventually become second nature to you. I appreciate how there are characters that are a bit easier to use in terms of orb management. And what I mean by that is the characters that have a fixed orb placement. You don't have to worry about RNG. But I find it extremely important that Kuro games still create characters that follow more of the traditional orb setting that involves the Candy Crush style that is more RNG based. You don't want the identity of the game to degrade by abandoning your core audience, because that is something that has become a trend, especially among the fighting game community, because there are many games where the identity is kind of like scrambled eggs, because they're trying to appease the casuals a bit too much. So it's really important to have more of a balance so that everyone would get something that they would enjoy, and therefore, you don't lose your core base. Or that's just my take anyway. The boss battles are really good as well. There are attacks you can parry, perfect dodge, callouts, and even hidden interaction sequences. I feel that fighting the bosses is the thing that's going to keep me playing, because fighting them is just absolutely fun, challenging, very high octane, fast, flashy, and when you find those hidden interactions, it's just super smexy, dude. I kid you not. There's even this battle mode that looks like it gives a nod to Devil May Cry's stylish system, and this is something that I believe has been going on before the Devil May Cry collab was even a thing. And you can correct me if I'm wrong, and because I'm new, right? And I haven't been around that long to know how old this style system is, but it's pretty amazing stuff. Hey yo, you got this far in the video, so you might as well hit that like button and hit that subscription button, because you're most definitely enjoying this video, so that you can get more Punishing Gray Raven and Wuthering Wave content and more, because I live stream a lot of that spit and I also make videos. So I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video and live stream, and thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of the video. Peace and God bless. Now we're gonna go ahead and talk about the gacha in this game, because I mean, you can't talk about a gacha game without the gacha, right? Because the gacha. The gacha in this game's extremely fair. It's every 2 patches or so, there's a free unit that you can get. The current free unit that you can get right now is Lilith. I mean, so saving for characters should be pretty easy, especially when you got so many characters that you can play with. There is so much to do in this fudging game. I mean, like, man, it's like there's always something waiting for you, and I feel like that's the good thing about PGR, because it keeps you busy and it doesn't feel like it's that much of a chore. It's just a matter of, ooh, look at this character that you can get. They even give you the materials for these characters so that it's not so hard to build them. I mean, you could literally build them like within a day, especially when you get everything you need. It's just not a problem. There are plenty of skins for costume enjoyers. They have a hell of a lot of skins. Weapon banners doesn't require so much as your typical gacha. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's like about 30 pulls for a signature weapon, if I'm not mistaken. You know, I was told you can even get stronger weapons for free using the recycle shop. You can even collect shards to get characters without spending a dime. I mean, this is one of those games that I feel like is just super free-to-play friendly. I mean, the most free-to-play friendly game that I've ever seen. Is not like I've been all over the block when it comes to gacha games, but out of all the gacha games that I have played thus far, this is one of the most free-to-play friendly games that I've ever seen. Not only that, but like I said previously, the grind to build characters is not as time consuming as the other gachas. I mean, you can practically get a character and build them and for battle all in one day. I mean, it's pretty easy to obtain plenty of stamina to do what you need as well, especially since you can collect stamina every single freaking day. So it's like you can literally stockpile stamina and do whatever the fudge it is that you need to do. Now, it may take more time to get the substats you want and make your character strong enough to progress, but I mean, just think about it. That's just a typical thing that is common among all gacha games. The plus is you don't have to worry about pre-farming to build characters. So that's probably one of the best things about this game, because like, if you don't pre-farm in other games, you could find yourself taking 1 week to 2 weeks to even a month to build a character a specific way. So in that aspect, I mean, PGR really does respect your time, especially with the auto clear button for simulated battle currency, which can be used to quickly get what you actually need for your characters. It's freaking insane. And thank goodness that they also have what's that thing, like recommended selections, like recommended options, so to guide you on the right path when building your characters. So that's another plus. Now, I'm not gonna lie, the UI can be pretty overwhelming, and there are so many things to observe and do, but the community is pretty good when it comes to helping you navigate it and know what you should focus on to build characters. One thing that I will say about this, and maybe I'm wrong when I say this, but this is just my take, I find it easier as a content creator to actually learn how to play the game because of how you literally get that interaction during live streams because of how helpful the community is. Because I mean, as I'm doing my live streams, you know, they're telling me a lot of stuff and I'm learning a lot of things from them. And I find it easier that way than I would like literally reading chat all day. Meaning, like, imagine if I'm not streaming and I'm just jumping in the game blind and I have to rely on the in-game chat in order to learn the game. And I feel like that would have taken a hell of a lot more time to do. And the person on the other side of the freaking computer screen, they literally gonna need to have the patience of a saint in order to deal with my ass. So, I mean, it's kind of tough. I don't know. That's a me thing. You guys could share your experiences in the comment section below, or tell me, was it easy for you to learn the game, you know, without being a content creator? I don't know. For some reason, it just feels easier for me being a content creator, and I don't even know if I would have been able to hack it if I was the content creator. So, yeah, that's just me. And the last thing that I want to talk about is the community. I know I've only been, like a little over a month in and may not have a ton of experience with the community and didn't meet every single person or to get a clear picture of what the community is all about. But overall, I find it to be nothing but positive. I mean, the people are very patient and helpful. Not everyone is a fan of backseat gaming, but for me, I find it great as a content creator because the help from the community allowed me to get a quicker grasp of the game, and as a result, I found Punishing Gray Raven to be a game worth sticking around, especially since the game is still constantly getting updates and getting more and more stuff, and even giving more and more stuff. So it's great. I mean, to be able to start building a team right away so I could start like plowing through the content and learn different things and enjoy the characters, learn the characters, and by the time I get the end game, I should have more of an understanding to progress through the game. But I feel like right now, if I was to get the end game, it's still going to take quite a bit of time because there's still plenty to learn, but it's worth learning because the combat is fun as hell, especially when you understand what you're doing. Having a well-informed and helpful community is extremely important to keep a game moving in a good direction. And like I said, I've learned something new every day ever since I started playing PGR, so I gotta give a shout out to the fine people of this community, the PGR community. I can see why this game is lasting as long as it is, with Kuro Games being an example of excellence in customer service, lack of consumer exploitation, engaging combat, and a strong community. PGR will continue to thrive, and I can't wait to see what Kuro Games is able to do in the future when it comes to this game, because dude, for them to get their hands on a collab with Capcom's franchise Devil May Cry is a milestone, because that is a huge franchise and it brings more eyes to Punishing Gray Raven, and that in and of itself is going to be a huge catalyst for future content for Punishing Gray Raven. So, share your comments in the comment section below. If you're new to PGR, you can share your community experience with me. And those of you that are experienced vets, hey, I'm always open for advice. You can share your advice, and definitely make sure to join in my PGR live streams, because I stream PGR quite frequently. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the near future. So once again, if I haven't said it already, which I probably did, but I got to do it anyway as a content creator, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more PGR content, live streams, videos. I got you. And thank you so much, especially those of you that watched this video all the way to the very end. You guys are the fudging goat, and I look forward to seeing you wherever you are. Video, live stream, I can't wait to see you. Peace and God bless, and let's punish them, Gray Ravens. Take it easy, guys.